Okay, so after jacking the back up, and I can crawl under here and take a better look, I can see that these lines are in worse shape than what I actually originally thought. You can see this has got some cracking here. This is just dry rotted really badly. And that one's discolored, which I am assuming is where a lot of the leaking was taking place. I got a lot of adapters and things right here that have some old thread tape on there that probably is not holding up very well. Looks like right here could possibly be another place that's leaking. So I'm gonna have to look into replacing all this. Definitely gonna need some recommendations. Noticed this right here. I don't know if there's supposed to be a fitting or something there, but I mean, this is just, it's ancient. I can feel that this has worn away from the inside here. Not much back there, you can't really tell, but, and I mean, this is just, it's probably never been replaced. I'm still dripping fuel. Mind you, this is 2 days later from the first leak that I noticed. Still dripping. I was wondering why it still smelled like gasoline in here, and that's why. Let's take a look at the other side. Okay, so now here we are under the gas tank. If this thing were to give, I'd be toast. Got my jack stands in place though. Hopefully they're gonna hold up for me. So one of the first things I did when I purchased this car, it had a fuel leak when I first got it, and I replaced the fuel filter with an aftermarket racing fuel filter, and it looks like that's where this consistent leak is that's been leaking for a couple days straight. It may be because I had the front end jacked up, the back was lower, so like gravity was forcing everything right there and maybe causing it to leak. So I've got it jacked up evenly now, but just the fact that it is possible, or it has the potential to leak, means that that's going to have to be fixed. But you know, maybe I'll go back to the original fuel filter, but that means I'm gonna have to replace all the lines back to stock, standard, or I'm sorry, not standard, but metric, because they've been converted to standard. So here's some fittings and adapters that have been put in place to get to the fuel filter. I'm sorry, the fuel pump, which did not sound like it turned on in my previous attempt to start. It did last time, which was probably 8 or 9 months ago. So hopefully my fuel pump is not gone out. But the fact that it was just pouring gasoline out everywhere, I think that the fuel system was getting pressure, so maybe I just didn't hear it. But definitely a culprit right here. I'm gonna have to re-plumb all of these fuel lines just to have the peace of mind that it's gonna be solid and safe. And man, just looking at other stuff under here, this, I mean, these axles where they go into the transaxle, I mean, it looks like that there's fairly wet substances here and there and everywhere, which leads me to believe that all that stuff could be leaking. It could just be from where the fuel was leaking. So, you know, maybe clean it up and let it dry out over time and see if it does it again. But man, this stuff just looks gross and dirty and in bad shape, and it discourages me a little bit. But you know, it's gonna have to be addressed at some point. I mean, look at these old rusty bolts on the back of this transmission transaxle here. I mean, that just does not look good to me. It just doesn't look safe. But oh well, we'll see. Next step, getting this fuel leak addressed. So wish me luck, and any suggestions are definitely welcome. Oh, there was a fresh drip. So I appreciate it. Follow me, continue to follow me on my journey. Like, subscribe, share. Have a nice day.